do it? The red circular button. That's how it's done. It is Tuesday?
No, it's Wednesday.
July 3rd.
July 3rd, USA.
The day before
USA.
the greatest holiday on the calendar.
No doubt.
It's not even close. Independence Day. Don't call it the 4th of July. Don't gloss over what we're all about. It's Independence Day.
Dang straight.
From the limey British. But I'm excited for it because it's just the best.
We are the best.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, not at soccer.
Oh, you had to bring it up.
Hey, Greg Berhalter, F you, buddy. He's a frequent listener of the show.
He is.
But not anymore.
No.
We're blocking his IP address.
We are firing him as well.
Did he get fired today?
No, but he should.
Gosh dang it. Here's the problem. We're starting off on non-car topics. The entire U.S. Soccer Federation is a flaming dumpster of garbage and wasted potential and wasted money.
Yes. Bring on Jurgen Klopp.
I would sell one or two of my children to get Jurgen Klopp as our coach. Pochettino?
I'll take whoever at this point.
Ancelotti?
Bring back Jurgen Klinsmann.
Oh my gosh.
Bruce Arena. Oh, wait.
Hold on. Wait, did he die?
Siggy Schmidt?
Oh.
No, I think Bruce is still alive.
What's he up to?
Mediocrity.
How about Michael Bradley's coaching in the Swedish second division?
Isn't Landon Donovan coaching too somewhere?
Is he?
I don't know.
He commentated a lot on.
He still does on Fox. He's commentating for the Euros.
I love Landon so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's stick on soccer for just a second.
Okay.
Because I have been watching almost every Euro game.
Oh, so good.
So for the uneducated, the Euros are all of the best European teams, national teams, competing against each other. Happens every 4 years. It is fan-freaking-tastic.
Is it every 4 or every 2?
Yep. It's every 4 or every 2. I think it's every 2, actually. And the soccer has been fantastic.
It's been so good.
There have been upsets. Turkey beat Austria in the round of 16 yesterday, which is crazy. That would be like the United States beating Panama. It just does not happen.
I got to watch Cristiano Ronaldo sob his eyes out.
Because he missed a penalty. He's 40 years old.
Yep.
Get over yourself. So simultaneously, the Copa America has been going on, which is the North and South American version of the Euros.
Let me just give one more shout out real quick to Christian Eriksen, who in the last Euros tournament had a heart attack on the field, was resuscitated on the field with CPR and a defibrillator. And then in his first game back at the Euros this year, he scores a goal. Freaking legend.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Too bad he plays for Manchester United, so it's all
that's the only time he'll ever score. So the Euros has been fantastic. I've been trying to get into Copa America, even with the United States. I mean, they're out now.
Yeah.
The level of soccer is so much worse.
It is. And the fields are garbage. Even
with the bigger teams, with the Brazils and the Colombias and the Uruguays and
I watched Brazil-Colombia last night. It was not that. It was not fun to watch. It really wasn't that enjoyable.
Here's the thing. This is going to be into the weeds, and then we'll get off the soccer topic because I'm pretty sure we've just lost at least 90% of our listeners.
Definitely lost Greg Berhalter.
Yeah, well, guess what?
Good riddance.
Good riddance. Triple G. So CONCACAF, right? The North and Central American Soccer Federation is one of the most chaotic, poorly organized major soccer groups in the entire world.
Right.
It's flopping. It is theatrics. It is, if we're not as good as you, we're just going to kneecap you to try and get ahead. You would think that South America would be better. They have the best team in the world. They have Argentina. Yeah. I mean, they have Brazil. the most historically amazing team, they're not any better. They're they're better, but it's like CONCACAF on a steroid scale.
Yes.
It's bigger.
CONCACAF with more talent.
Yeah, it's bigger, it's faster, but it's the same garbage theatrics. It's the same trash fans that kill each other and throw bags of pee onto the field. It's just disappointing.
It is a bummer.
So I don't know. That's my rant. That's my soccer rant for the day. Watch the Euros. They are a blast. Who's going to win it? Who's looked really good?
Man. It's hard not to say France. I don't think they've looked that good, but
Yeah.
they're just, it's
France.
France.
They've been the favorites from the beginning.
Yeah.
Griezmann has the greatest hair of any athlete of all time. But I can't stand Mbappe.
No.
So I don't know. I would love to see England win it.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Harry Kane disappears into the distance. So I don't know. Okay. Soccer talk over.
Yeah, I think the Euros are another war that England is going to lose in July.
Ooh, it's not coming home. So we've been away for a bit. It's summer break for us.
Yes.
Did you watch the Austrian Grand Prix?
I did not. Well, I did. I turned it on, and I hadn't been watching like all the stuff from the weekend, but I saw that things were kind of close, so I was like, oh, I'm interested to watch the race. So I turned the race on.
Yeah.
After like 2 laps, Max was 2.5 seconds ahead.
Yeah.
I turned the race off. I ended up turning it back on later, and it got more interesting towards the end.
Yeah.
But
when Max tried to kill Lando?
Oh my gosh, he's a psycho.
He is a psychopath.
Yeah. You can't drive.
He is using
against
his
him.
car as a weapon.
Yes.
It's, if I don't win, I'm going to wreck you.
100%.
Absolute garbage, petulant. And if you listen to any of his radio communications with his team afterward, they were just like, "Oh yeah, no, we agree with you. It was Lando." Right,
in no way, shape, or form.
His attitude is never going to change.
Right. He's like, you can't send it up the right one lap and up the left the next. I'm like,
yeah,
but you definitely can.
I mean, he broke protocol. He broke the blocking rule 3 different times.
Yeah.
He forced Lando way off the track. He went. It just.
And then in the end, Lando retires and he still takes 5th.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Which is a whole other thing. If you can get a puncture and still take 5th, that's wild.
Yeah.
But no, that solidified my dislike of Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. I felt bad for Lando. It was cool to see Oscar Piastri though. I'm really starting to like Oscar.
Yeah. He's solid because he's super low key.
Yeah.
And
he's like the thinking man's Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, I can see that.
Daniel Ricciardo's just kind of loud and loves hearing himself talk.
I can't stand George Russell.
I can't see.
Oh my gosh. I might like him less than Max.
I like him less than Lewis at least. So what do you like about George?
I just, honestly, it's like, it's everything. It's his vibe. It's his, it's just like that thing you can't necessarily put your finger on other than the fact that your hatred burns within you.
I think he is like, if he could race with a monocle in one eye, I think he would. I think that's probably the dislike of George Russell.
Yeah.
If he had like a monocle and a cane in the car with him and hopped out and called himself Lord Russell.
I generally like British people and British things.
I do too.
He is the most quintessential snooty British rich little boy I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I agree.
Can't stand it.
That reminds me of a Dimitri Martin joke. He said, if you add the word French to anything, it makes it better. Think about it. French toast. French bread. French kiss. There's only one exception. French people. Which was pretty good.
Coming from somebody who speaks fluent French, that's a...
Oui. So the race, we'll get back to the race. The race was really good. I had fun with it.
It was enjoyable.
Haas finished with 2 in the points. First time since 2020 they had 2 on the in the points, which is insane to me.
That is pretty crazy, actually. They never finish outside of like the bottom 5.
No, they're bad. They're not Logan Sargent bad, but they're bad.
Oh gosh, Logan. A disgrace to Independence Day.
The funny thing is, have you seen so Silverstone? They're racing in Silverstone next week, right?
Right.
So British Grand Prix. Have you seen the Williams livery that Logan's going to have to race?
No,
It's a
please
big-
tell me it's a
It's a
giant
big
American
Union-
flag.
No, it's a British flag.
Oh,
it's a
gosh,
big
dang
Union
it.
Jack.
Dang it.
It's so funny. So
He
that
should have an American flag helmet.
that would be so good.
That would be hilarious.
Just make it look like George Washington's head with a powdered wig and everything.
That would be sweet. Some wood teeth
Wood teeth.
on the front.
Oh my gosh. I'm in. Let's get to designing.
Okay.
I haven't opened up Illustrator this week. It's time to happen. You were in Lake Powell last week.
Yes.
How was the drive down with a 1-year-old?
It was not as bad as I thought it was. Like, I thought it was going to be a lot of stops, but we only stopped. I think we stopped like 2, maybe 3 times for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes just to get out of the car.
Yeah.
But we have Zulu with us too, our dog.
Oh, I didn't know you brought the dog.
Yeah, we always take Zulu, and so he has to get out and use the bathroom and run around anyways. So it was fine. The drive home was a little more rough.
The drive home is always so rough. It's twice as long as the drive down.
Right.
So we drove to Moab
Oh yeah.
with 3 kids in the Suburban. Can I just say, on a very car-related note, there is no better road trip vehicle
Than a Suburban.
than a Suburban
Right. Everybody has their own space.
with captain's chairs in the middle.
Yeah.
Because if we needed to get all the way to the back, you can like walk to the back. If I'm driving, I can get all the way to the back. Liz just grabs the wheel. But everybody has their
3
own
kids
seats.
in the car.
Yeah. Everybody has their own seats. Everybody has their own space. There's a TV. It's just it's just like flying on an airplane almost.
Right. The only thing I can think of that could be better is a Rolls Royce Cullinan,
Okay, that's
but
fair.
it doesn't have 3 rows.
It does
so-
not have 3 rows. And my grubby kids getting veggie straws all up in it. So we drove to Moab. Suburban was phenomenal. The drive through Price Canyon in central Utah is so underrated. I hadn't done it in a few years.
Yeah.
It's great. All the way, like Spanish Fork Canyon, all the way through Price, pretty much.
It's pretty solid.
What a drive.
Yeah.
We're spoiled for things like that.
Every time I go and like I make that drive, I'm like, man, I should really just like take a day and go for a drive out here in a car that's actually like
A
fun to drive.
Yeah.
I never do it though.
No, that's a haul. It's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But it's so pretty and the road is so good. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. So I'm going to give you a choice today.
Okay.
I have 2 top 5s prepared.
2?
Yeah, but I want you to choose the best one.
Is that a top 10?
No, not a top 10. Because full disclosure, I prepared these as I was driving over here. Because I have ADHD.
Right.
And I've had a head cold for 3 months. So I haven't been on top of my game, but here are my 2.
Okay.
I'm going to let you choose. Number 1,
Oh, the pressure's building.
it is. The bathroom's right that way if you need. Top 5 car modification trends that need to go away.
Ooh.
Or,
I already have some ideas there.
yeah, in honor of Independence Day, the top 5 most American balls out screaming eagle cars that have ever been produced.
Oh gosh, dang it. I'm going to say modifications.
You're going to say modifications?
Yes.
Okay. Pause. Okay, sorry, I'm back.
Nearly died.
Nearly died. Partially barfed up a heart. So we were going to do the top 5 list of most American cars, but it was all Dodge Chargers, different variations.
Scat Pack, Rumblebee, Daytona.
Swinger.
There's a swinger?
There's a swinger. Oh. And obviously, Hellcat.
I mean,
Hellcat. To match my lower back tattoo. It's a Hellcat.
Red eye.
Yeah, no, that's a different tattoo. So we're going to go with the top 5 car modification trends that need to go away.
I'm genuinely excited for this, actually, because I have so many ideas for this.
Okay. So spitball a couple of ideas here. I want to hear a couple of yours. Let's see if they overlap. I won't give it away.
Okay.
But I want to see if they overlap with my list.
Anything that is matte paint protection film that makes a gloss car look matte wraps, that can all be in one. Just anything matte.
Okay.
I'm going to say black wheels.
Okay.
I'm so out on black wheels right now.
You're nailing this list so far, by the way.
Man. What else is out there that just grinds my gears? Those are really the main two.
Okay.
Because I am so sick of cleaning those.
Okay. Yeah, I bet you are. Matte wraps are... Okay, so let's get to the list. Number 5, matte paint jobs.
Yes.
They're just played out.
Yes.
They are so overdone. They're everywhere. And they're just not... They don't do anything for the car. I feel like they take away from the lines. They just look... Early 2000s. They look like you're wearing low-rise bootcut jeans. Which I guess are coming back, by the way.
Yeah, I just can't... I can't get behind matte. Like, there's a couple times where I've seen something, I'm like, it looks decent.
Yeah.
But I just know how much of a nightmare it is to take care of. And I really just... Like, one of our clients has a really nice Ferrari that is... Nürburgring silver. It is maybe the greatest silver I've ever seen in my whole life. And then we showed up to his house one day and it had matte PPF on it.
Yeah.
And
turned around.
I nearly smashed into it with our van. Not really, but
it had PPF though. It would have been fine.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. PPF. You take it straight through Quick Quack.
So I took the Suburban through Quick Quack in Moab.
You know, there's some time where it's like, whatever. But yeah, I could do a whole podcast on Quick Quack. And Mr. Car Wash.
Mr. Hotshine?
Yeah. Tag and Go. What else is out there? Take 5.
Yeah. All of the automatic.
Oh my
all of the automatic car washes. I know you have some very, very solid distaste for those.
Okay.
And I understand why.
That's going to be another podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Because I also have some very strong distaste for certain car products, one of which almost killed me today. And I will tell you about it
after the top 5? Okay.
Edit that out. Edit that out.
I don't know how. Sorry, everyone. Okay, number 4. Beige cars.
Oh, beige.
Beige. Arctic silver. Not Arctic silver. What am I thinking? Oh, desert mica.
Oh, yes.
All of
sand.
Yeah.
Is that Toyota's? It's
yes.
literally sand.
Yeah. No car has ever looked good. It does not matter what the car is. Has never looked good in gold, beige.
Cobra beige from Audi.
Awful. Terrible.
It's, yeah.
And I know that it is more of an older generation thing to do.
Yeah. Your Camry was gold.
On gold.
Your
My first Camry was sand with tan interior
and gold badging.
Gold trim. And it was badass. Okay. It was a 5-speed.
That thing was so sick.
Oh, it was so good. Got 86 miles to the gallon.
Yep.
0 to 60 sometimes. So
depends on the temperature.
Yeah.
And the air conditioning level.
And the incline of the road I'm driving on. But gold cars to me, I've seen a few more of them around. There are a lot of Toyotas, a lot of Lexi? Lexi?
Lexarinos.
Yeah. Okay. The next design trend that needs to go, and this is, or the next automotive upgrade modification that needs to go. You mentioned it. It's black wheels.
Oh, gosh.
So black wheels had their day. Okay. There was a lot of, I've heard I've never seen Star Wars, but I know what it is when people would like stormtrooper their cars, right? They'd have a white car and they would have everything else was blacked out.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was. That's how my M5 was when I bought it.
Yeah. Black wheels do absolutely nothing for the car. They disappear.
Yes. The wheel disappears. It's just boring.
It is. It's boring, and it's like a matte wrap. It's played out.
Yes. There are some cars where it's like that's the wheel that makes sense.
Sure.
Like Holly's RSQ8. That car it's dragon orange.
Sure.
With the carbon optic package. So everything is black or carbon fiber.
Sure.
And like a solid black wheel is the only wheel that does that car justice.
What about like really dark gunmetal? Something that's not completely black. Would it work or would it not work?
I think it's situational again. If it's got metallic in it,
okay,
bring it on.
Sure, it has some depth to it, right? It's not just a black plasti-dipped wheel.
Plasti-dip. Yes.
Okay.
So on occasion, they work and make sense. But as a general rule, stop it.
Yeah, put some thought into it. Put some thought into it.
I'm on a huge silver wheel kick. I love just like
a
straight
brushed
silver.
aluminum?
Yeah, brushed aluminum, silver, not chrome. I would rather have black than chrome.
There is, in my neighborhood, a brand new Escalade, black, of course.
Yes.
With 23-inch chrome wheels.
Dubs? Are they dubs?
They're dub trays. And it makes me want to vomit.
West Coast Customs.
It's bad.
Yeah,
it's bad.
That is bad.
Okay. The next modification trend that needs to end is putting so this is kind of going to tie into number one, but it's a little bit different.
Okay.
Putting giant fender flares, plastic flares on your truck and not doing anything to the wheels and tires.
Dodge. It's always a Dodge.
It's always a
Dodge.
So you put the big bolt-on plastic fender flares.
Right, and it's never even a Dodge with like the nicer upgraded wheels. It's always like the cheapest,
stock alloys.
smallest wheels that come on it.
It is. And just straight all-season tires. And you put these big gnarly fender flares on it, and it looks hilarious.
It does.
It just looks bad.
It usually has a body lift. It's not even an actual suspension lift.
Yep, just they put some shims in the suspension. So there's no suspension left, but it's 4 inches taller. But it's cool.
Right, the same as something that's slammed, but it's lifted.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a game I like to play, and I don't know if we've talked about this before, but you can play it with any... If you see a car driving down the road, right, and it's maybe an early to mid-2000s Mercedes...
Range Rover,
anything with an aromatic suspension, and it's riding really low. We like to play a game called Slammed or Collapsed. And most of the time, collapsed.
And if it is slammed, it's because it was collapsed, and the cheapest way to fix it was to slam it.
Throw some Racelins on. Okay, the number one. This is what got me onto this top 5 today. The number one automotive modification trend that needs to die
is the Subaru Crosstrek.
No, it's just the word Nissan. It is any sort of off-road vehicle. I'm seeing a lot of Broncos right now.
Hey man, it's overlanding. It's not off-road.
Swear on my life. Putting an entire AutoZone row of off-road modification on the back of your Bronco and never taking it off-road. I'm talking
traction boards,
big red jacks. Okay. I saw one with axes the other day.
Oh yeah.
Which super safe.
Right.
Driving around with those axes winging off your car in a fender bender.
Safer than Cybertruck hubcaps.
It's the same thing. Decapitate an entire bus stop.
His Kappa was dated.
It is the widow wadder, the widow wadders that you put on your Jeep, the widow wadder to get up to the roof box. Don't do that crap.
My personal favorite is in Moab, you often see people they have like these special garbage cans. It's like a bag that hooks onto the rear tire, which for Moab is great. It keeps it like, it's a place to throw garbage that's not on the trails.
Yeah.
But when people drive around town with those, I'm like, you should just crawl into that bag.
Yeah.
Zip it up.
Yep.
Cinch it.
And then
Let it.
So, jerry cans, like extra gas cans.
Yes.
And
like what is the farthest distance you've ever driven from Provo to North Ogden without seeing a gas station?
No, they've never driven within
a quarter of a mile.
Yeah. It drives me nuts to no end. And the equipment never gets used. It's always spotless. The body lift jacks that are like 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
Still have the price tag on them. It drives me insane. You're not fooling anybody. You're not going out doing you're not finding the North Pole or the South Pole, Shackleton. You're driving a lifted Bronco with 37-inch tires that you're paying $1,200 a month to drive. I'm hot right now. For no reason.
James May is hot right now.
That's my top 5 list.
Okay. I have to add one, and it's not even necessarily, I think it started out as an aftermarket thing, but now it's just a factory thing. And it is all the plastic cladding that manufacturers put on their cars. Subaru is the worst.
They are absolutely the worst. I didn't go into manufacturer modifications.
Right.
This was just aftermarket stuff. But you are 100% right.
It is horrible. And the black plastic, it sun fades in like 3 weeks after you purchase it. And then it's like some light gray, splotchy.
Listen, I drove early 2000s Volvos almost exclusively for a decade.
Right.
That is all it was. You get the swirled white and gray plastic trim.
Yes.
It is. And Toyota does it with a lot of their, like the RAV4 has it.
Yep.
It's a cheap way to make things look tougher than they are.
Right.
That's all it is. So Subaru does it with their, I forget the name of the trim level that they just, it's like an off-road.
Oh yeah, the standard poodle.
It's the New York Liberty WNBA edition. It's all plastic and they put some red trim around it. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's I can't stand it. Even Ford does it with the Raptor. The Raptor, like the huge fender flares from the factory.
Yep.
And they're also like the ones from Ford are painted at least, but they're painted matte gray. Guess what? The first thing to scratch on your car is fender flares.
Sure.
Guess what? You can't polish.
Ooh, that's
matte.
Right.
Anything matte, unless you want some nice shiny spots.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cybertruck style. Did you see the guys that polished the Cybertruck?
It was so freaking cool. I want to do that so bad.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting we don't have any clients that have been dumb enough to buy one.
Well, that's because you work with an exclusive clientele of non-mouth breathing human beings.
It's funny though. I actually do have a couple friends that have Cybertrucks, and they really like them. Which, to each their own.
I drove my neighbor's.
Unless you're wrong. You drove it?
I drove it.
How was it?
I made him let me drive it.
How was it? How was the steering?
Okay, so I want to talk about that. It was like driving every other Tesla, right? The acceleration
horrifying.
Papers over 90% of its inadequacies.
Right.
The interior feels really cheap.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, this guy, he has a Founders Edition or for whatever
right. Yes.
launch edition.
Yeah.
It's laser etched onto the side.
Right.
And he doesn't love it. He hasn't loved it.
Yeah.
He replaced his Rivian with it.
Oh, that is a poor choice.
The Rivian or the Cybertruck or both?
Yes.
Yeah. All of the above. So I drove it. He is kind of an interesting guy, and he he's like, I kind of like it, but tell me, he wanted my honest feedback on it.
Yeah.
The interior was pretty cheap.
Right.
It was very bland. The amount of plastic between you and the windshield, it's like a queen size bed.
Is it really?
Yeah, it
I
is.
haven't been inside one.
It is huge. It's at least 65 feet long. The one windshield wiper blade.
Is so bad.
It's so bad.
And it only does like,
if you're a
basically
passenger,
draws a line right in the middle of the passenger's eye line.
If you're a passenger, hopefully you were like blinded
wear an eye
in
patch.
some sort of war, because that's all. You're only gonna be able to use one eye. Also, his windshield wiper had a tendency to get stuck right in the middle of at a 45-degree angle.
That sounds about right.
So you've got an 11-foot windshield wiper blade blocking the view. It was already starting to rust around the unfinished edges.
Of course.
The steering is horrifying.
So
you have no idea.
Right. So just to explain real quick, the steering is fly-by-wire steering. So there's basically no mechanical...
Drive-by-wire steering.
Drive-by-wire.
Yep.
So there's no mechanical link between the steering wheel and the front wheels, like in every other car on the road.
And back wheels. It has 4-wheel steering.
Right. So, but the way they've programmed it is based on your speed, changes the amount you turn the steering wheel to turn the car. So you pretty much never have to turn the steering wheel more than like, what would you say, 45 degrees?
Oh no, way less than 45 degrees, like
Seriously?
20 degrees. Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, and I've heard people say like it's easy to get used to, but that just...
Well, I don't want to get used to it is the thing.
Right.
There's no feel for it.
Yeah.
I have driven Hyundais with better steering feel, which is strange. So it was super light. The steering wheel is a weird shape. I didn't love it. The acceleration, again.
So every time I see...
cool, but...
Right. So basically what the acceleration is, when people are looking at your car from the inside and they're starting to see how cheap everything is, you just mash the throttle and their vision goes blurry.
Yep.
And then they can't see it anymore.
They get tunnel vision. They kind of black out a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, didn't love.
I don't know.
Love.
Tesla is like the company that started where it's like somehow they're selling minimalism as luxury. It's like they claim to be like a luxurious thing, but literally the only thing you have is a steering wheel and a screen.
38-inch screen.
And somehow it's like some super luxurious, but companies are buying into it. Like the new Range Rover,
yeah,
almost identical.
Yeah.
Which I love the new Range Rover, but it's not because of that. It's because of everything else.
Sure.
And that's just like a whatever.
Sure.
But I don't know how Tesla managed that. Like, we're going to give you nothing, and that, my friend, is luxury.
Have you ever heard of a car brand called Porsche? We're taking away carpets. We're taking away door handles. We're
Right.
taking away radio. We're taking away air conditioning.
But that's for speed.
Yeah. We're going to call it a Speedster, and it's going to be an extra $85,000.
Yes.
And you're going to line up.
But
to
at
buy
least
it.
the doors fit. And
It doesn't amputate your fingers. People
Yeah.
don't cut themselves walking past it.
Right.
That's a good
Throw up looking at it.
They are so strange looking.
Every time I see one on the road, like from like 100 feet away, I'm like,
Yeah.
that thing is massive.
Oh, they're so big.
But then I get up close to it, I'm like,
It's because
not as big as it
the front end
looks.
The front end is it looks huge.
Right. Yeah. Like if you got hit by one of those head on, good luck.
You'd be chopped into bits.
Yeah.
It'd be like a mandolin slicer.
And also insurance companies are charging an arm and a leg, no pun intended, to insure them because they have no idea. Like repairing them is ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's this giant stainless steel panel.
Yeah.
Good luck fixing that.
Oh, it's a Frigidaire? You get the Frigidaire package?
The Whirlpool.
Yeah. Speaking of, are we always too negative on this podcast? Because I was
we
going
could bring some positivity.
Can we go one more negative real quick?
Bring it on.
Gosh dang BMW, what the hell?
Oh, God.
What are you doing?
A 5,400-pound sedan? How do you even
M5?
do that?
Well, ask the engineers at BMW because I feel like it's a joke at this point.
It has to be.
There's no way.
It's like that Brian Regan joke where he's talking about ice cream and how a serving is like a half a
2
cup.
tablespoons or
He's like,
something.
I just wrote this down as a joke, but they're going out this way.
Yeah. Okay, so can you, how much do you know about the new M5? Can you talk about it at all? The specs or anything like that?
Yeah, I could talk
Okay.
about it a little bit.
Okay, so for people who might not know, BMW just announced a new M5.
Right.
Hybrid.
Yes.
Typical BMW design language.
Right. Currently awful.
Wet fart of a design language. That was gross. Sorry. I do not like the new BMW design language. Ever since Chris Bangle came in the early 2000s, BMW's been going downhill faster than an Eastern German bobsled team. I don't know.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhythm.
We're in a BMW. Okay, tell us the specs a little bit.
So I know that it's like 730 horsepower, similar torque, hybrid. It's all-wheel drive, and it weighs 5,400 pounds. Which, for reference, an all-wheel drive hybrid Porsche Cayenne,
The SUV.
full-size SUV, weighs less than this sedan. And for a second, I was pretty amped that the M5 Touring was coming to the United States.
Yeah.
Slightly less, because
Well,
that's going to be like 5,600
No,
pounds.
BMW is working with Maersk, the shipping company, to design a new ship big enough to carry one of them over to the United States. It's going to be called the Captain Phillips edition, and you can get your hands on one in early 2035. So you're right. So it's a plug-in hybrid
Yep.
with a V8, which is cool.
That's fine.
The plug-in hybrid, not cool. V8, cool. 735 horsepower,
Yep.
735 pound-feet of torque. For those who don't know, the Earth spins on its axis at 700 foot-pounds of torque.
Right. So when you put your foot down, you're not actually driving the car.
Yeah.
The earth is just rotating under you.
That's right. That's right. It'll go 190 miles an hour. It's insane. It's just insane.
The thing is, the annoying thing, it's like the new M2. The new M2 is way heavier than it should be for a two-door sports car.
Right.
But because of the engineering, it drives really well. So it's like they're getting away with it.
Yeah,
And
but,
it's sick and wrong.
well, here's the problem, okay? So we talked a little bit about Rivian a few weeks ago and how their SUV is so heavy that it just plows through like current guardrails, current traffic safety
Yes.
measures. It just destroys them. And that's the same thing. I mean, it doesn't, if you're going 190 miles an hour in something that is that big, if you're just driving it, the tires are going to be shredded, the brakes are going to be terrible. I just don't see anything positive coming from it.
Yes. I agree.
It's 1,000 pounds heavier than the last M5.
1,000?
1,000 pounds heavier than the last M5.
Whoa.
As Jeremy Clarkson would say, that's 2 Americans. So I just don't know. I just don't know. Cars keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's terrifying.
That is terrifying, actually.
How much does a
5,400
TRX weigh?
pounds.
How much does a TRX weigh?
I'm going to say a TRX weighs 6,000 pounds.
Let's
That's
find
my
out.
guess.
6,300 pounds. That's pretty crazy. Okay, let's talk. Can we be positive for a minute? What positive things do we have to say about?
I have a positive thing to say.
Let's hear it.
Lotus
Yes.
with the Amira
Yes.
somehow. So Mazda also did this. They had the NC Miata, then the ND Miata came out.
So that's the 3rd generation and the 4th generation of the Miata.
Correct. The 4th generation of the Miata was smaller and I believe less powerful than the 3rd generation.
Okay.
Where do you see that? Nowhere.
Never.
It's brilliant. Everybody loves it.
Yes.
It's a Miata.
Sure.
Lotus, the Evora, weighed just under 3,200 pounds. The Amira, the replacement for the Evora, weighs 3,200 pounds.
That's amazing.
It doesn't have to get bigger to get better.
You're a child.
It's not what I meant.
But you're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And Lotus has probably my favorite catchphrase of all time.
Simplify.
And add lightness.
Bingo.
It's so good.
Yes.
Okay, I can get on board with that.
Yep.
Have you driven an Emira yet?
I have.
How is it?
It is glorious. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. It's got a great, like, the 6-speed is awesome. And it sounds good.
Yes,
The supercharger sounds good.
Yeah.
It's plenty fast.
Yep.
It's great. It's a nice interior. Good place to be.
Would you take it over a Boxster?
I would be curious. I have not driven the current Boxster or Cayman, like a GTS 4.0.
Yeah.
Which would be not similar in price, but similar in power and everything.
Performance, yep.
I would be curious to drive those back to back. But you're probably going to pay $15,000 more for the Boxster or Cayman.
Sure. So our mutual friend who has an Emira, did you hear was that your throat?
I have no idea. Was it?
What was that? Was
I don't
that
know.
the devil? He drove it for like 500 miles.
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened to it?
You mean how, like, the catalytic converters melted?
Yes. Whoops.
Ugh.
That's weird that a British car would have problems like that.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Simplify and melt down.
Okay, so simplicity is fun in
It is.
cars, I think.
I agree.
Can I tell you my guiltiest pleasure? My guiltiest automotive desire? Maybe not guiltiest.
A Nardi wood steering wheel.
Oh, that's not guilty, though. That is pure adult pleasure. I love a Nardi steering wheel. I want, very badly, a first-generation Honda Fit with a 5-speed.
I cannot say that I blame you. I've actually heard those are super fun.
Yes.
And they have incredible amounts of storage.
Yes.
And they have a really good 6-speed.
They do. It's like a Dacia Sandero. It's like the Nick Dahl James May version of the Dacia Sandero.
Yes.
There is one that I've seen on my street for the last couple of weeks now,
Mm-hmm.
and I just am in love with it. It has a bike rack on top of it. It has.
They look decent.
It's cool.
You can make them look decent.
It has little 15-inch, like 5-spoke
Yeah.
wheels. It is so cool, and
You
I've
probably
liked
get
them.
one for like $32.
They came in Happy Meals for a while, but like the second generation, not good. It came
No.
with extra
Current
body
one,
cladding. Current one is disgusting, but that first generation is so cool.
It's cool.
So that we'll see.
There's a fair amount of people actually that use those for autocross.
Really,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Super light. Just,
Honda engine.
yeah.
Oh, I don't even know what
Solid.
engine's in it.
Briggs and Stratton.
1.6. 2-stroke.
Mercury. Pull start.
Volvo Penta.
Yeah. When
Okay.
you get in where the key goes, it's actually just like a ripcord starter from a lawnmower.
Oh my gosh. What is the weirdest key placement that you've ever seen? Weirdest starter placement.
I mean, Aston Martin's is in the center of the dash,
Okay.
which is interesting.
Okay. So I've got 2,
Okay. A Porsche is on the left.
which is cool.
Yeah.
Saab
Is that, do they have one like down?
in the column.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the center console. Sorry.
Yeah, in the center console.
By the center console.
Yeah.
Why did they do it there?
It's zero idea.
They wanted it to be safe, and they didn't want the key to ram into your knee in the event that you rammed into something.
Okay, let me just say something real quick. Saab, I know you're out of business.
Yeah.
And this is probably why.
Thanks a lot, GM.
If you are getting smashed head on by another vehicle, the thing I'm least worried about is being scraped or jabbed by the key that's in the column.
That's a fair point. Most deaths come from that, though.
Right.
So that was weird. So I'm going to start with a little story. One of my good friends has been looking for. He has a son that's turning 16, and his son has epilepsy. So he needs a bunch of different safety features in his car.
Okay.
So they already have that car, but my friend has 6 other kids. He has 7 kids.
Whoa.
Okay. So my friend needs a car that he can drive around himself because
Okay.
he has to give the car with all the safety features to his son.
Okay.
I helped him, and I am equal parts ecstatic and destroyed that I helped him find this car.
Okay.
It's a 2008 Mercedes-Benz E320 Estate, dark green with dark tan interior. It is gorgeous.
What? Where did you find it on KSL?
I was on KSL.
Gosh dang it! How did I?
And the
miss
guy that he bought it from is like Mercedes enthusiast and has a stack of paperwork for it. And I sent it to him. I sent him the ad, just thinking like, oh yeah, this won't come of anything. I'll go look at it myself. Well, he went and bought it. And I'm so thrilled for him, and I'm also destroyed for him, for me. But the starter placement in a 2008 Mercedes-Benz E320 is a push button on top of the shift knob.
What?
How cool is that?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I want that.
It was pretty cool. So it also has a rear-facing third row seat, which is why he bought it, because he can still fit 6 kids in it.
I forgot those have the... Because when you originally told me about this a couple weeks ago, I was like, I don't think that's big enough for... I forgot about the rear-facing third row.
The jump seat. It's super cool.
I thought Volvo was the only one that did that. I guess Tesla has it too in the Model S. You could get that in the Model S.
Yeah, they did. But kids were too upset that people could see their faces when they were riding it. So they discontinued it. So that was, I don't know. I'm kind of on the hunt. I love my 2003 Mercedes-Benz ML500.
As you should.
I love it so much. It's been a year.
Has it really?
Yep, last week.
Went by fast.
Last week was 1 year of ownership.
So you're about ready to sell it.
It's coming up. It's getting long in the tooth. But I can't justify it. It has been, and I'm going to say this and drive home and something terrible is going to happen, has been flawless. I have not had a single issue with it. It has been comfortable. It has been an absolute delight. And I cannot justify getting rid of it.
Dang. Yeah, that's a tough one.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to start looking around though.
I am of the opinion that you don't have to be sick of something or done with something to move on to a new experience. You can still let something go. If you're ready to try something new. That's not an Audi wagon.
Gosh dang it. I know. The thing is,
unless it's a supercharged A6.
All of the Audi wagons I've been looking at, they all have the 2-liter TFSI tractor engine. Yeah. I will never buy another 2-liter Volkswagen product.
Can't do it.
Won't do.
Garbaggio.
Garbaggio. That's German for don't buy it. Okay, let's end there and reconvene next week. Let's get things back on track a little bit.
Done deal.
I'm talking about America. Sweet America. You know, God done shed his grace on thee. He crowned thy good. Save it, brotherhood from